In our first community conversation, we're joined by Paige DiPirro, coordinator for the Community Mental Health and Wellness Coalition. She's sitting down with Aaron.
Paige, it's always good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So today we're talking about PTSD Awareness Month. That's what June is. So can you tell us a little bit more about the Awareness Month and also just what PTSD is?
Yeah, so PTSD Awareness Month gives us an opportunity to focus on a vital issue that affects millions of Americans. So PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, is a disorder that can arise that is essentially a stress injury, right? Someone's dealt with too much stress and the body can't handle it, the mind is having trouble processing it, and so it impacts them in some variety of ways. So about 6% of Americans will experience PTSD in a calendar year. So pretty prevalent, and then about 8% will experience it over their lifetime. So we know that this affects millions of Americans, and an Awareness Month really gives us an opportunity to shed some light, talk about some signs and symptoms, and spread that awareness.
Very nice. That's so important. And what should people know about PTSD?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, as a stress injury, right, when we experience trauma, it can have a variety of impacts on a variety of people. We don't all process trauma the same way, right? Individual experiences have different effects. Sometimes when we experience something traumatic, it causes a stress injury where we're unable to cope with the amount of stress we've experienced. So people may find that they're experiencing sleep disturbances, some emotional changes, maybe emotional numbness, maybe irritability, different symptoms that can arise out of kind of being at our max stress level. And if these symptoms persist for past about 4 weeks, then we would encourage folks to reach out to a professional, because that's kind of the PTSD range when we know someone may need some treatment to get through that.
Okay, so any severe amounts of stress beyond 4 weeks,
yes,
you would need.
So if we're seeing those symptoms and we're having trouble managing that stress, sometimes people experience flashbacks, like I said, emotional disturbances. If we're seeing those symptoms and they're lasting for more than 4 weeks, we're starting to enter kind of a territory where someone may need some professional treatment to be able to get through that.
Okay. And then how do we respond to or prevent PTSD?
Yeah, so I think a really important part of preventing PTSD is understanding how stress impacts our body, right? And how we can develop effective coping skills in responding to the stress impacts on our minds and bodies. When it comes to PTSD, it is treatable, right? We want to highlight that recovery is possible and that folks who seek treatment, there's a variety of trauma-informed psychotherapies that can help folks feel relief, develop those coping skills so that they're not experiencing those negative symptoms. But prevention really starts with education. I feel like I'm on here a lot saying that. So getting the opportunity to take one of Region 10's trauma-informed trainings or UVA Health and the Coalition's stress first aid trainings can really introduce you to how stress impacts the mind and body, so you see those warning signs early and you know how to cope.
That's wonderful. And those trainings, are those, is that like a monthly thing or?
Yeah, so
okay.
We offer our trauma-informed training and our stress first aid trainings at different intervals throughout the year. We actually have some coming up at the end of July. Oh, nice. So if folks go to region10.org/events, they're able to find those trainings, the dates, the registration forms, and then we update at cmhwcoalition.org. We also put information out about stress, its impacts, and when we offer stress first aid trainings.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much, Paige, for coming in. Good having you here.
Thanks so much, Erin.
You're very welcome. Steve?